Hello, I'm so delighted to be here. I joined Fastly in March 2020, and so there hasn't been an in-person altitude since then, and I can't tell you how excited I am to finally be at one of these things and looking at all your smiling faces. So thank you for coming along. So, as Human said, I run engineering here at Fastly, and today I am here to talk to you about observability, which is a topic I am super excited about. Obviously, as someone who has had a background in running large-scale distributed systems for the last 15 or 20 years, observability is something that's critically important to uptime, knowing when things are up, knowing what's going wrong, and being able to diagnose those things. So, we have a vision for observability at Fastly, and that is basically that we want you, the customer, to have flexibility and freedom in how and where you want to produce, consume data, how to analyze it, how to visualize it, whether that's logging data, tracing data, metrics, whatever it is. And our goal is to give you those insights which are actionable to help you do things like tune your systems and make them more performant, to discover suspicious activity that might be going on in your systems and block that, and basically provide better experiences for your customers, because that's what's really important here. These are the kinds of questions that we hear from customers all the time. So they say things like, how can I make our app faster? What's this weird thing I see in production? How can I detect it? How can I detect those anomalies and alert on them and do something about them? And finally, one I hear a lot actually is, I'm really worried about the cost of egress and how can I monitor that and make sure that I'm not blowing my budget. So we hear these questions and they all have something in common, which is basically that you need actionable insights. Not just data, not just a pretty graph, but a graph that tells you that you need to do something and gives you a pretty good idea about what it is that you need to do. So I like to think that observability is kind of a superpower, right? No capes, but superpowers. And it doesn't matter whether you're a developer, an operator, and I know we have both kinds of people in this room. For a developer, we talk about observability-driven development. And back in the day, it used to be, you would say something like, oh, we're seeing an increased rate of 404s in production. I'm going to have to go look through some logs. And now if you're a developer using Fastly, ideally you can use our observability tools to say, okay, I looked at Fastly and I can see that we have increased 404s. They're coming from IAD. It's a result of pushing out build 189, and that's going to cause problems for our SLO with our customerexample.com, right? We need to give you enough information to do your job really well. As an operator, I think the key thing is to give you end-to-end visibility. So you can see all the way through from your central cloud or your on-prem into the edge cloud and see what's happening every place along the way. So what I really want to tell you today is actually get to make an announcement, which is my favorite thing to do at a conference. I am announcing to you, there's a press release going out tomorrow, but we are launching a new line of observability products. And this will take our existing real-time logging and metrics functionality and turn that into a whole line of products that will help you do better at your jobs. The goal there is to give you advanced edge visibility, more alerts, analytics, and so many more things, which I will tell you about. So in terms of what we have in Fastly Observability, there's probably three main things to think about. One is that we give you kind of a deep, holistic coverage of data that you won't see anywhere else. There's extremely granular visibility. There's more than 200 metrics that we offer you, whether they're on client, origin, cache, WAF, computed edge, image opto, whatever it is you're using, we have data. And ours is super flexible, right? So first of all that stuff is available real time, so you can act on it quickly. Logging is super customizable. You can get it in a huge variety of formats, whether that's common log format, JSON, whatever it is. And up to today, one of the things that people have commonly done is integrated that with other providers, right? We have 33 different integrations. You can export those logs and analyze them. And I've seen everybody's graphs. I love talking to customers and they're like, here's the graph that we made of the data. The other thing that's super important to know is that we have complete data, right? If you are running a service today, you can go back 5 years and say, what was the cache hit ratio 5 years ago today? You also have a complete set of data. We're not sampling. Everything is right there from day zero of the service on. And because I could not help myself, here is an architecture diagram. I'm sorry, I'm basically just an engineer. So I'll talk you through this. We'll start at the bottom. At the bottom of the chart, you can see your origins, which are sitting behind the Fastly Edge Cloud, and there are people coming to use your origins. They are legitimate users, and they are also attackers. All of those interactions, every HTTP request, every HTTP response is metriced and logged and audited, and all of that data gets pushed up to the Fastly data platform. On the Fastly data platform, you might see some things here that you've heard of before, and you might see some things that are brand new because we haven't talked about them. So the two existing products we have that are on here are Origin Inspector and Domain Inspector. They are both in general availability. You can have them right now. I'll talk about them a little bit more. Very exciting news on those. But the things that are new here are, first of all, Edge Observer, which is going to be the single pane of glass across all of your Fastly observability needs, where you can do charting, dashboards, logging, see all of those things. And the thing that's actually really cool about all of this is not just we provide you a sort of good default dashboards, but it's fully customizable. So you can see exactly what you need to see when you need to see it. So Edge Observer currently in beta. Over on the far side of the chart is a brand new thing we haven't talked about at all, which is Fastly Alerts. It's in alpha. And that allows you to do custom monitoring rules, setting thresholds, triggering alerts, all within Fastly. And that's kind of the theme here, right? We've always given you the data. You've been able to pull it out and put it into your platform of choice. But now you can just come to Fastly, see it all in one place. And you can still export it as well. We want you to have that flexibility. So just some screenshots. This is a peek into the future. Unless you're a beta user of Edge Observer, you haven't seen this. And I think we have a few of those here. It will give you per second historical visibility all the way back to day 0. As I said, single pane of glass, and you can have exactly what you want on that screen, right? What you want, in what order, measuring the things that are important to your business. We also have, as I mentioned, Origin Inspector. I know we have a bunch of customers of Origin Inspector here, which is super cool. Lets you monitor traffic to your origins. Again, real-time historic data and customizable visualizations, without having to sort of have the latency of having to export your logs to a third-party provider and then munge and analyze it there. Domain Inspector. Similarly, you can see metrics on a fully qualified domain name basis. So for each one of your domains, you can break this down, all the same kind of graphs. You don't have to do that extra effort of doing a bunch of scripts to push it out to whatever third-party provider you need. You can just do it all on Fastly. So here is super exciting news. If you're already a Fastly customer, you should pull out your phone and log into Fastly right now. If you go to the Stats tab, you can turn on a 30-day free trial for Origin Inspector and Domain Inspector and start using that right now. So that's cool. I'm super excited about this. One thing I think we've made a lot of progress on in the last 12 months is self-enablement. You want to try this out? Go try it out. You can turn it on. You have the control. You have the buttons to do that. And we're going to be doing a lot more of those over the next year or so. I also want to talk to you about the observability roadmap. This is a little bit of an expansion of what Lakshmi talked about this morning. So 4 main things here. On the dashboarding side, we will get Edge Observer to GA in early 2023, so you have that to look forward to. But if you want to try a beta, you can definitely do that today. Just talk to your account manager. On logging and monitoring, we will be offering a whole bunch more capabilities here. Some exciting announcements coming up on that in both sort of free tiers. You'll get a lot of basic functionality, and there'll also be a premium one. More custom metrics. And as I talked about, that's in alpha, Fastly Alerts. So you'll be able to have your complete measure, visualize, analyze, export, whatever it is you need to do, alert on it, all within the Fastly platform.